Sorry, I'm a few seconds late. I was trying to print something off and it wasn't coordinating. So let's see. I'm gonna type something in the, no, I'm not gonna type something in the chat because I just put my keyboard away, but hello. Oop, I gotta silence my computer. All right, I can't tell what's on and what's off. All right, there we go. It's off now. So here I am, and I'm thankful that you're joining me tonight. Boy, is it hot here in Wells, Maine. Whew, and I'm in my stamp studio where it is very hot. I can't open the windows because the traffic makes noise, and I don't have an air conditioner, which would also make noise. And I can't open my door because my husband's watching TV and that makes noise. So I guess you get the idea. Before we get started, while we wait for just a couple more people to find us, let's go ahead and so my July calendar, which I did pin in my Facebook feed, has been updated. I took off the information about the little monkey class because I shared this back in June when you could still register for it. But you'll notice that we have let me see if I can get you to see this. We have a Tune-In Tuesday coming up next Tuesday, which is a normal Tune-In Tuesday. I normally come live second and fourth Tuesdays. I did come also semi-live. I premiered it on the 4th. And of course we have our Friday Night Lives. For those of you that signed up for the Little Monkey class, that is going to be a week from tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. Here's one of the cute little projects we'll be making, and I can't show you what's going to go inside that, but isn't it cute? I have a team meeting, and my team just grew by another one today. Welcome back to Vivian Bailey, who signed up again. And then this last full week of July is a special week. It is my Christmas in July event. And so I'm going to be coming live. Well, not necessarily live. I'm going to be coming with a special post, whether it's a video on Facebook or YouTube, every day, Monday through Friday. So I'll do my normal Tune-In Tuesday class, and so that will be 4 projects. But the other days will be some quick and easy projects, and probably just one each day, but it'll be a Christmas theme. And then on Saturday, I'm going to have a Christmas in July class. And that's probably, well, we'll see how items in stock go, but that may be limited just because of supply issues right now. So yesterday, Stampin' Up launched some new online exclusives, and I don't know if you saw that or not, but wow, there were some really, really pretty ones. So let me show you one of my favorites. So there's this horse and sleigh stamp set, and then there are the dies that coordinate with it. And this is a really beautiful set. The items are larger, the stamps are larger, just the cover is printed at 80% size. And this is, although it does say Season of Cheer, which could go for Christmas, this is really a set that can work for those of us in New England for a long time. It's a lot more than Christmas. But since I'm doing a Christmas in July, this will have a Christmas bend to it. And here are the coordinating dies. So there's this sleigh runner you can cut out in like a silver or a gold, something shiny like those would be. We've got some snow piles here. We've got this little flourish goes on the sled, so you can accent it there, maybe with a little bit more metallic stuff. We've got some just standalone die of the tree, and then of course the tree dies that go with those two things, and the one that cuts out this whole thing, and then there's a little bunny. So lots of great combinations there. So this is one of the online exclusives that they released, and not only is it that, but there is coordinating paper. That's the One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper, and it's 6x6, as you can see. And I'm fumbling around. I'm trying to find And I showed these the other day, but we've got all sorts of pretty scenes here. And these are going to make for some beautifully stamped cards. Oh, I've got ink on my hand. All right, I think I got it off. But just some beautiful, beautiful scenes here. Woodland scenes. Lots of color combinations that can be pulled in. And on the back side, you've got lots of neutrals. So this can obviously go for anything. This is the one that has sort of an image per se, and that's just a bunch of trees. So really, really pretty, pretty paper. So that's a whole suite of products, and it also, the suite also contains some snowflake embellishments, which I don't have yet. They're on their way, a bunch of them for the class. And then the other thing that my Christmas in July class is going to feature, so we'll be making 2 cards with this, but we'll be also making 2 cards with this Trucking Along set. And oop, it looks like my video froze. Huh. Frozen screen. Let me see if I can get my husband to stop streaming. Can you turn off the TV for a minute and see if it helps my computer? So I don't know what's going on. And hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Now, oftentimes this will play back correctly. All right, I'm back now. All right, I have to go tell my husband he can turn the TV back on. I can see what the problem was. My phone is dying, and apparently when it gives me a message that it's dying, it wants to stop the video. Hey, hon, you can turn it back on. It was my phone. All right, so I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I didn't actually check the battery. All right, I'm back. So, let me repeat some of that. So in my Christmas in July class, I'm going to make 2 cards featuring this bundle and paper as well. And you're going to get in the class is $40, and it's going to be, oh, I say it's also a class by mail, but if you're doing a class by mail, you're going to have 2 bundles at the very least to work with. But in the in-person class, I'm going to give you a full package of this designer series paper, and then let's see, it's a full package of the snowflake embellishments and a half a spool of some beautiful new red and gold ribbon. So that's going to be, it's over $30 worth of product when you include the supplies for the cards themselves on top of all that product I just mentioned. So over $30 worth of product, and the class is only $40. So, and trust me, you're going to love this paper. I went back and forth whether or not I should do a half a pack or a full pack, and you're just going to love this. And winter is so long that you're going to want a full pack. Trust me. The other 2 cards are going to feature this Trucking Along stamp set. And this set has been proved to be very popular. So it came out yesterday, and demonstrators were not allowed to pre-order this a month early. We usually can pre-order some stuff. This came in stock and went out of stock in, probably 12 hours maybe. I mean, and everything opened up at around 2 a.m. So by early afternoon, this was out of stock. It came back in stock today, and it's now back out of stock. Now, what's out of stock is the stamp set itself, and Stampin' Up manufactures their own stamps. So they're working hard to make some more stamps. So I assume that this will be back in, if not a couple days, it will be back in by the week after next. So, but I have one on its way. So at the Christmas in July class, you'll be able to use it whether or not it comes in stock very soon or not. But this is a really great little set, and it is not just Christmas. There is a Christmas greeting in it. It says, "Wishing you a festive Christmas." But there's also wish every day is a fresh start, special delivery, farm fresh, and there's, you know, summer trees, and there are presents. There's palm trees and clouds and Christmas trees and flowers and sending you sunny thoughts. So this will also be very multi-seasonal. But for Christmas in July, it's going to be Christmassy. All right, so let's get started. For tonight, we're not going to do Christmas. We're not talking Christmas. That's at the end of July. We are talking beach. And so if you know what this is a Stampin' Up! Kits collection box. And when you open it up, there's nothing in it at the moment because I've taken everything out. But what comes in this, because I had to make a sample, of course, first of all, you get instructions. And the instructions are full color instructions. And there are no words, so you don't have to be able to read, which means that you can have, you can be English speaking or any other language speaking. That's why there are no words in here to print it. But it shows you step by step what you're going to have to do. So the first two things on the top tell you what you need for each card. This particular kit makes 4 of 2 cards. And then it gives you the instructions. Now, one of these I have already made ahead of time. And that's this one right here, the Sit Back and Relax. So I used the brown one, which is kind of like the sand with some foamy residue on it. And then I stamped this leafy image in the back as well as some sand kind of texture dots, which, by the way, those little random dots are so great to have on hand, whether you're talking beach theme or not. I stamped on this little tag, wrapped some twine around it, and adhered everything to the card. So that's one card. But I did a little paper saving trick because this is just a basic white card base. Let me show you how the cards come. The cards come like this, and I would fold it in half, and there's my card. But I don't want this on the back. This is too pretty to be on the back. We can use it as almost a designer series paper. So what I did was I cut this in half at the 4 1/4 mark, and I got this. That is the front half of a card. So all I need to go with that is a piece of thick basic white. And when I put that right over the top, you can't tell that it's just a layer on top of a card base. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to show you a couple different types of glue tonight, or adhesive tonight. I usually stick with this multi-purpose liquid glue because I prefer it. But it occurred to me that some of you don't like glue or might not like glue. And so I should show you the other alternative that we have, and that is Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'll show this a little bit later. All right, so I'm going to show you how to put this kit together because, again, I am in the middle of July now, and I'm having a fundraiser for a nonprofit in Southern Maine that helps individuals with special needs. And so my commission, or 25% of the purchase price of each kit this month, goes toward that organization, which is called A House for Me. And so I'm going to show you how to put this kit together because other people that this is being shared with may want to see how easy it is. And then I'm going to show you not only this paper saving tip, but I'm going to show you what we can do with the parts that we cut off that are different from this. All right, so let's go ahead. This is what they consider card number 1. So it tells me that I'm going to need this stamp and then the speckled stamp. So I'm going to get those out. And it tells me where to stamp things. So it says you're going to ink this. Now the kit comes with not only a block to mount it on. Now this is what the kit blocks look like. I'm using my regular block because it's thicker and I find it easier to handle. And this Stampin' Spot is just a mini version of a big pad. And so that I can keep this sealed, I'm going to, and maybe give away, I'm going to just stamp this right here. I'm going to look at my card, and it looks like I'm supposed to stamp it right about like that. So then I'm going to go ahead and clean that stamp on my chamois. And I'm going to get out the little dots, the little sand texture. Because see, it says you're going to ink that up as well. And we're going to put that, and I can see that it is over here. And I can see that it's down here in the corner too. So I've added those. And then finally, it tells me I need to stamp the Enjoy Your Day also in this ink. One of the nice things about the kits is it makes stamping with friends who don't maybe share the passion that you have for stamping or have never stamped before, it makes it so easy for them to do. So I'm going to get the other pieces of my kit out. And I set them aside so I have them handy but out of the way, if you know what I mean. And so the kit also comes with envelopes that are ocean themed, and you can deconstruct this too and use this as paper. I'm going to use them as envelopes because they're so pretty. And I live at the beach, so why wouldn't people want to get a beachy card? And I'm getting myself in ink. Let's see. So there are other pieces that come in here, and the instructions tell me I do need this right here. And you can see that they give me 5 of these, even though I only need 4. And so that allows you to make a little boo-boo. Tells me I'm also going to need one of the small leaves. And I know that's small one because the other one's the large one on the other card. And it tells me I need one of these leaf things that has 2 parts to it. So I'm going to take that out. And it's really, if you're going to be sitting down and completing this whole kit, I advise taking everything out and organizing it as you go along. So, you know, I would put a pile of these together and a pile of these. I'd have everything out that goes with each particular card. I wouldn't do it just for one card at a time. And so then we need the umbrella. It's not a very good sunscreen umbrella, is it? It's got lots of holes in it. One of the other things that this kit contains is a piece of chipboard that's good for stamping on as well. Gives you a nice firm but not too firm surface. All right, so I do need to do the Enjoy Your Day here. I'm going to get that stamp out. And especially on my long skinny stamps, I like to lay it down and then pick it up, and that just keeps it kind of straight. And I'm going to stamp this just as my directions say. All right, I had to stand up to do that. Can't see around my camera. All right, let's clean that, and we are done stamping for right now. All we have to do is assemble. Put that aside. So it's telling me I need to put these little black dots are the mini glue dots that come with the kit. So everything is included. And you can pick these up with your fingers. I have a special tool, a take your pick tool, that I'm going to be using to pick those things up with. And it tells you where you should be placing your dots. Place one of them up here. And you're going to place one of them midway down the handle. And then you're going to place another one near the bottom of the handle. Also tells me I want to use these mini glue dots on the base of the leaf. And if I flip this over, I can see that I need one right up around here. And then I need one kind of where they come together. And then I need one up near the end here. And you can kind of see the bigger spots where they can go. And then it's a matter of adding those to my card front. So let's see, it looks like the leaf is on top and the umbrella and the bigger leaves are behind. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna put this one down first. So I'm just taking the backing off the adhesive. I love this kit. This is one of my favorite kits, I think. So it looks kind of like it should go right about there. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing for right here. And let's see. So tomorrow I'll be posting on my Facebook page an update to let you know where I am in the fundraising process right now. I think I've raised, well, I've sold 6 kits so far, and then someone else made a donation that would probably be the equivalent of about 10 kits. Now it says I need to cut 12 inches. So sometimes you do need something other than what comes in your kit. And that's a pair of scissors. So I'm going to take my pair of scissors and I'm going to get the twine that came in my kit that I put somewhere. I have to confess that I was stamping an alternate idea right before I went live, and then I noticed the time and I'm like, oh no, I've got to get going here. This is not the linen thread that comes with it. Oh, I found it. This is a little spool of linen thread. I've already gotten some of it out. Comes with the kit, and it says I need 12 inches. So over here along the edge is a ruler, and it goes up to 9. And so 9 and 3 make 12 inches. That should be enough. And they'll always give you a little bit extra twine, but I like to cut it exactly anyway. And then look at what it says to do. It says you're going to flip this over and you're going to kind of loop it around. And then these other little pieces, these hexagonal outlines, that's what this is. These are dimensionals. And so we're going to put 3 dimensionals on, one on each end, and then one in the middle. And they have backing on the back of them too. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, now I don't think you can see it, but I think they intend for a little bit of a glue dot to be in there so that you can adhere this to, because otherwise that ribbon kind of misses everything. So let's see, we're going to loop this around. Looping is not my favorite thing to do. It's not hard, and yet I struggle with it. So we just loop it around here, and we loop it back. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just got to have some loopy loops going on, and if you get it a little bit on that, that's fine. So we're just going to put that right over the top here. So, and there's the card. Now, if you wanted to do something different with this, perhaps you wanted to maybe tie a bow. You could tie a bow and stick it on there as well. That would work as well. But there's the card. And so there are supplies for 3 more cards just like this. But remember what we did first? We cut the backs off. And so, let me show you. So see, I have a couple more left still because I've already made a card. But I cut off the backs here. So these are the back sides of those first 2 that I made. Too pretty to throw away, too pretty to use for just the back of a card that people probably won't even look at. So what I'm going to do now, and I got this idea from a fellow demonstrator, Mary Bessiker, and this is, and I've seen and done this technique before, slightly differently. I used to use scraps of my own DSP before and smaller scraps, but this takes much less time. So we're going to cut this into 1-inch strips, and my paper trimmer can handle 2 together, but you can cut them individually if you want to. But I'm stacking them, and I'm going to put them over at the 1-inch mark over here on the left. And I'm going to use that dark blade to cut. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm probably going to be able to get, I'm guessing, 3 cards out of this maybe. So it more than doubles the value of the card kit. And then I have this other one here. And I'm going to cut it at the 1-inch mark. And I like to go from the top down so it doesn't move. Now these 2 pieces, you can use those to decorate your insides or your envelopes. So don't throw those away. All right, now I'm going to bring in a piece of coordinating cardstock as my base. And that color is going to be Lost Lagoon. Lost Lagoon is a returning in color. Let's see, give me a little heart if you love Lost Lagoon. If you love this color, I love it for the beach. Look how beautifully it goes together. It's so pretty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in something to stamp on so I don't get my surface too dirty. And I'm going to go back to my stamp set. And I'm going to bring in either one of these big stamps. I think I'll just go ahead and do I want the little fern or the big fern? I think we'll go with the bigger detail on this one. Get the words off there so they don't get in my way. Put the words back so I don't lose my words. Some of you right now are going, Sharon never loses her words. She talks the whole time. That's true. It's fair enough. All right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in my coordinating Lost Lagoon stamp pad. I'm going to be covering up most of this card front, but the bottom will not be covered. So I'm going to just kind of stamp and move my stamp around. Make sure all the edges are stamped on though. All right, so that's good. It doesn't matter that it's not pretty in here. That's going to be covered up. All right. Now these measurements that I'm about to give you are going to be on my blog, which is linked in the comments of this video. However, you can, you can replay this and write this down, but they are on my blog, but it's not going to publish until 8:30 because I have to upload the cards I'm about to make because I haven't made them on camera yet or even in real life yet. So I have these strips right here, and I think I've lost one of these already. Doesn't really matter because I have I have more than enough. I'm going to take a piece of basic white regular cardstock, and this measures 3.5 by 3.5 by 3 3/4. I'm going to bring in a wonderful little tool that's going to help me protect my surface, and that is my silicone craft sheet. Things don't stick to this, or at least not permanently. It cleans up really nicely. I'm going to take one of these strips and I'm going to put it sort of on the diagonal. Now it doesn't have to be exactly on the diagonal because you have to trim off all the excess. This basic white piece is just the platform. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back, and this is where I'm going to show you the Stampin' Seal. So I'm going to put some on the ends. The ends are what's most important in this technique. And I'm gonna adhere this so that it goes from the inside corner, or the corner in the inside, to the corner and the inside of the other. So it's not centered on the diagonal, it's kind of kitty corner a little bit more. And you can see that there's not much excess here, but there is excess. So we're going to trim this. Now this, I don't believe she called it by name, but this is what's often referred to as a scrappy strips technique, because you're using many times scraps to do this, especially if you have narrower scraps. So now I've got this. I'm going to bring in the opposite color, or the opposite pattern, I should say, and I'm going to decide how I want to put that. Do I want it like this? I think I want it like this. There's a little bit more contrast here. Now these two pieces I'm holding on to, I'm saving them on purpose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave a little bit of a space, and I'm going to adhere that right there. So let's go ahead, and you can use any size strips that you want to, but I wanted to use up, I wanted to make it pretty easy here, and this goes a lot quicker if they're bigger. And I just want to make sure that that space is uniform all the way through. And again, I'm going to cut off, I'm going to flip over and cut off the excess. And we're going to use these pieces. I don't want to waste this beautiful stuff. So now here, I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to go perpendicular. So I can, I'm going to start with a bigger piece first. Let's go ahead and put this in here. So you can see I don't need a whole lot of adhesive. I do want a little bit more because it has to go all the way to the edge. And I'm going to leave that same kind of spacing, tack that down, and cut this off. Now your scissors might get a little bit gummed up, but you can just do a little Gooby Gun, or sometimes alcohol takes it off, hand sanitizer, that kind of thing. And then I need some things in these spaces over here, and that's where these little pieces come in handy. So I want something that goes against this blue here, right? So I'm going to use this, and I don't have adhesive right on that little corner. I'm going to go ahead and put some there. And again, I want to use the same kind of spacing. And then I have another one over here. And again, this is my right angle, so this is the corner that I want some sticky on. So why am I using this instead of the liquid glue? It is less messy for this technique. Now when I'm cutting this little piece off, I have to sort of hold it in place because the smaller they are, the more they tend to move. So I just kind of pinch it with my fingers. There we go. And so we have that. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now maybe I've got a lot of blue in the middle there. Maybe I start with this color right here. You know what, I can start with this. Now I don't want to have it so that it runs continuously like this. Let's off center that a little bit. It just looks a little bit better to the eye. All right, so maybe I do this. Same kind of gap. And you can stick it here, but it does not stay stuck there. All right, and now I have this piece that's already been cut, so I don't want to waste it. So maybe what I do is I come in with my paper trimmer. You can do this, you can just eye it as well, but I'm going to come in with my paper trimmer so I can get a nice right angle, make it easier. And I'm going to put this one up down here, not up here because there's still a lot of blue there. So I want to have some contrast as much as I can. Okay, even I am getting tired of listening to me, so I'm going to just talk less for right now. Who believes that? Give me a thumbs up. That's what I thought. All right, so cut that down there. I've got just a teeny tiny piece here. We will want this. So because it's such a teeny tiny piece, I'm probably just going to try to make that a right angle just like that. I can see that there's adhesive on it. And I'm going to cut it down a little bit so it's a little bit less of a piece to cut. I'll put that there. We'll trim it. All right, now let's see, what do we want to do? We want, let's try a bit of a, I don't want this because it's the same, but maybe I want this center part in here. So where the light blue is. So we can do something like this. Yep. So I kind of eyeball where this ends on the card. And I just stick this down. Again, the scrappy strip technique is one that you can use with just any regular strips. In fact, the one I was playing with before I came on here was that Countryside in paper, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So now we have one more here. Oh, look, that's going to fit nicely there. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the end here. Stick that down. And this layer is just about done. So it is a little bit, it does take a little bit of time, but it's fun to play, and everything's going to look different every single time. And I still have these pieces that I can save and play with later. In fact, I'm just going to keep them stuck to the mat. I move my mat over, and as you can see, I still have strips left that I can use. At least two more cards. At least one card, maybe two cards more. Now I have a piece of pecan pie, which is the coordinating cardstock, and this is cut just 1/4 of an inch bigger in all the directions. So when you're using Stampin' Seal, run it, pause it, and then lift up. If it doesn't run, just advance it with your finger a little bit to get the sticky back in place, and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and put this on here. That's good. Okay, and we're going to put this right on my card base, and I'm aligning it so that it's pretty much the same on the same border on the two sides and the top. I'm not going to use a dimensional for this because I'm going to use it for the sentiment. All right, so there we go. Now we just need a sentiment. So if I were to get out a piece of cardstock here, and let's see, let's go ahead and I wanted a more substantial sentiment, so I went to my stamp shelf and I got out my in the moment. Because when I go to the beach, I think about relax. Because I don't go to the beach during the day where everybody is there and it's crowded and hot and the ocean's salty and gross and cold. I grew up by a lake, by the way. I like to go to relax, and it's so beautiful and peaceful at around 6 or 7 o'clock at night, or I hear in the morning, but I don't see that very often. So I chose this. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. I just got back from a camping trip, and that's all well, I did mostly relax. I didn't relax as much as I probably would have if it had just been my husband and I, but we went with a whole bunch of a group from church, a group of us, I don't know how many there were, but there were probably, I think there were 11 sites and probably an average of 4 people at a site. So there was somewhere between 40 and 50 people on this trip. And so as you can imagine, there was always lots of stuff to do. We go to a campground that has lots of stuff to do. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a die. And the die I happen to use on this was my, oops, that's my Stylish Shapes one, and that's not what I used. I used my Something Fancy dies. I could have chosen something from here too. This would make a pretty sympathy card, by the way. And then I'm going to use this particular die. And I'm going to die cut this. So let me hop on over. Let me clear this out a little bit. Let me get my die cutting machine. Put that in place. And you want a number 1, 2, and a 3 plate. Now obviously, if maybe you're just starting out and you don't have all these fancy things, you can use a punch if you've got a punch that fits a particular word set. Or you can just use a rectangle. If everybody that works with paper has to have a paper trimmer, so just use a rectangle. This just fancies it up just a little bit. My tape is it's a very low tack tape. It's just holding it in place. All right. And I'm going to just carefully take that off, that tape off, so I don't rip anything. And so I have my sentiment here. I can bring my card in and I can put that right there. Now, there's Lost Lagoon. Here it is in pecan pie, and I think I like the pecan pie better. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and get out some dimensionals. And I had the dimensionals that came with the kit, but I also have plenty that I want to use up. So I'm just going to finish using this particular piece right here. So I can almost throw this one away. Just got another little bit around the edges to use. Holy cow, you guys, it is getting hot in this room. Whew. And so I'm just going to pop that up so that it overextends the bottom right here. And I can put some gems on there, or I can just keep it nice and peaceful like this. If I have some extra linen thread, which I do, I could have put that on here. In fact, now I wouldn't want to take it from the regular cards because I will probably make all the regular cards as well. So let's see. I think I actually have some. This is some baker's twine from the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. And this color right here goes very nicely. I think they call it crumb cake. But I've already got a bow tied in there, so I can put that on either side if I want. I could have wrapped it around. I could have done lots of things. I'm not sure what I want to do with it though. I kind of like it just plain. I'd probably put it on some way like that. But I like it plain. I'm going to keep this one plain because I'm not sure who I'm going to send it to yet. But that is an alternate card. Now, to decorate the inside, I would just need a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to put that in there. And then, and I don't think I have one of those already pre-cut. Let me check. I do like to pre-cut them so that I have them handy. But I think I've used the last of mine. Here, pretend this is cut down. You could just put it along the bottom here, just to tie everything together. We'll put it along the edge, and you would have a completed card. All right, so 3 different cards, 2 that came in the kit or that the kit kind of told me to put together. So there's 1, there's 2, I don't know, the other one's around here somewhere, right here. So these 2 come so that you can just take the easy way out and just do these cards. But if you want to stretch it and put it on a base of basic white, then you can make a bunch of these cards with just a few extra supplies. So there we go. That's the Boho Beach Kit. And again, if you would like to help me support a nonprofit doing wonderful work in Southern Maine, purchase this kit or any of the other kits. I have a link in the description of this video so that you can go ahead and check out all those kits. Let me just turn this around. I'm gonna move it. All right, here I am. So let me just turn this around, say hi to you and goodbye to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email, stamperhood@gmail.com. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I hope the heat and humidity breaks a little bit soon. So, but take care, and I will see you soon.